Hello and welcome everybody back to the Nukeshot Media YouTube channel for what is round 3, technically event 3, of the Nukeshot Endurance Series 5.5 here for the Group 3 and 4 Showdown. I of course am your commentator here today, Nukeshot Zokeo. Unfortunately Mika is having some technical issues. Hopefully once he's reinstalled the game he'll be with us towards the end of the stream. However, we'll have to see regarding that. He should be in chat nevertheless, so shout out to Mika. Nice having you guys on board for this. The Group 3 and 4 Showdown here at Brands Hatch. Brands Hatch, a very fast and flowing circuit, also one that requires very high levels of concentration, very little margin for error, especially in some of these sections here, as you see Group going through Sheen Curve in that Peugeot RCZ, that bright purple machine. Good amount of cars here today, of course mixed categories, the first event of that kind this season. Let's run through some of the competitors. So of course Group here in the RCZ, we have Fred Dude making a return after a solid performance at the Sanqua 1 hour earlier in 5.5. We also have Nicholas making their return. It's come in the Subaru WRX. Of course, the latest crowned Mountain King, car number 12. We also have a Muda in a brand new liveried Toyota GR Super Racing concept, looking very, very Toyota Gazoo Racing-esque. We have Nils, who is one of our Group 4 runners here today, in a livery which I believe is a little bit of a throwback to some of his GT MES success in the past. At least I recall seeing some images of a similar looking car doing well in that series. So they are going to be looking for a good result here today. Sir Bottle Job as... oh, there he is, in the Porsche Cayman. Just had a bit of issues with the cameras. Back again, I believe the same car and same livery as last time out of the Mountain King Challenge, so he's going to have gotten quite used to that by now. We also have Splurge here today in another Group 4 Honda NSX. So the NSX proving to be quite a popular car in Group 4. That's sort of half and half Arrows Racing Team livery design. I recall James running a similar design on the M4 in the Arrows Racing Series Touring Car Championship not too long ago. Who else do we have on the grid? We have Eddie making their return in the Audi TT Cup alongside their teammate G Infamous. The two Audis returning from the Mountain King Challenge, hoping to do a bit better than they did that time out. And of course Crazy John making their return. Car 25, that Toyota FT1 in Virtual Life Experience livery. So at the moment it is Nicholas with the top time, as perhaps somewhat expected based on his showing at the Mountain King Challenge. He's not actually faced against Fred Dude yet. Fred Dude was absent from the Mountain King Challenge, so it'll be interesting to see that head to head. As he goes a little bit wide, Group following as well. We're currently just in the practice stage of the session. Qualifying will be getting underway in hopefully not too long from now. A couple minutes by my calculations. Hello to Mika in chat again. Speaking up Boris Johnson for whatever reason, alright. Bermuda making their way out of the pits. Car 54. Nice of him to... oh, he's gone for a beach day, it would seem. Let's hope they keeps the car going through the gravel trap. Sliding around. I know we've just had the GR Yaris release for GT Sport. with its rallying pedigree, but the Supra less so. Nevertheless, Amuda taking it for a bit of a rally drive. Splurge finding the track limits at the moment, as someone else also went off. I'm not sure who that was. I think they've reset to the pits. But there they are, Splurge. Good seeing them making their return again. Sliding around somehow with traction control on. No idea how he's managing to do that. Be interesting to see how Splurge does in comparison to the likes of Nils in the equal machinery. As actually, I should probably check the BOP for Splurge now that he's back. I don't think I quite did that. NSX 374 1468, that matches up. Oh. So we're about to get qualifying underway first. It will be a split qualifying this time around because it's multi-class. And it will be 10 minutes per category. As I'll just prepare to get this reset. The car's just about to go on to their outlaps, at least the Group 4s. 10 minutes they'll have. It's going to be Nils leading them off. He's already gone on to the Druid's hairpin. So he was very fast to get out into that clear air. Got all the data up as well. Apologies if I'm not sounding quite myself. I've not been feeling the best recently, but I am still here, so hello. Weaving the tyres, Nilsman. Recent champion of GTMES Season 12 in the Group 2 category with Honda. So again, adding to his repertoire and his trophy cabinet. I haven't got corona, I'm just feeling a bit down and such. It's all fine. Infamous now going onto a lap. Splurge is not at the moment. Splurge isn't on track, though he's in the Group 4 category. Well, the car's about to go onto their first laps then. Nils making their way down Paddock Hill, running it a little bit wide, avoiding the gravel crucially. No track limit penalties on that occasion. Through the Druid's hairpin, nice run through there. These guys getting the most out of their racing super soft compound tyres. Onto the back straight. Let's see what kind of speeds he can get up to. Going on board with Nils. Nice black and green helmet as well. These Group 4 cars, of course, slower than the Group 3s. Gets up to 133 miles an hour before slowing down. Hello to V-United Air Conditioning. I believe that's Armoured Core, because of the air conditioning joke from way back in the day. Nice hearing from you again. Nice that you're keeping in touch. Nils about to make their way around the final corner, clock curve. I do need to get a track map up. I'll See about doing that shortly. It's going to be a 129.2 for Nils to kick us off for Group 4 qualifying. What can Sir Bottlejob do? It looks like it's going to be close, but not quite. Yep, 129.9, 7/10 off. Now what can Eddie do? Eddie does a 129.5, so they're actually faster than Sir Bottlejob. Good luck there by Eddie. That extra time practicing seeming to pay off. Infamous will be the next to set a lap, as Splurge is now out on circuit. Just on an outlap. So what can car 29 do with this back section? Front wheel drive, of course, the Audi TT. So has a slight disadvantage on tyre wear, but has a bit more of an advantage in terms of top speed. Interested to see how that dynamic works out. They're about to make their way across the line. We're about to see what Infamous can do. It's looking quite a competitive time. It's going to be a 1 minute 30.3. So far the whole field, with the exception of Splurge, has not set a time yet. Just about within 1.1 seconds. Still plenty of session to go, we're not quite halfway yet. And already Infamous is improving. Here's Splurge. What can they do? Nils actually improves with a 128.8. Good on them. Sir Bottlejob in the Porsche Cayman. Oh, he runs wide. Going out that final corner, easy to do so. No improvement for them. Eddie runs it close to the line, no improvement on that occasion. Now here we go, on board with Splurge this time, on that Honda NSX for the Arrows Racing team. Here is Sheen Curve, one of the most infamous corners on the circuit, very easy to run wide, and we see plenty of accidents happen there. No doubt we'll see a couple of mistakes throughout the race. So far, everyone seeming to stay within their limits. Final corner, what can he do on his first lap? Ooh, very close to the grass. It's not going to be the best of times, it's a 130.8. He's still finding his rhythm out there. Infamous didn't improve that time, 2/10 off, and they run a bit wide going through Paddock Hill. Nils goes into the pits, that'll be for a fresh set of rubber. Interesting tactics from some of these guys, running racing softs for Eddie. And I believe Infamous is actually using mediums, so that's a bit of an odd strategy. Maybe just to be able to stay out for longer in the qualifying session rather than pit every now and again. That would be my guess. We'll have to see. Yeah, it'll be nice having you back if you do decide to return for a potential Season 6. Again, it's a bit up in the air whether that will happen on GT Sport or GT7. We'll have to see. Infamous making their way through the final sector at the moment. Splurge just ahead of them. They were best in that last sector. Will they improve? Yep, they go up to third place. 129.8. Will Infamous improve? Not quite. Sir Bottlejob making their way through the middle sectors. With that forest section, very tricky. Very easy to mess up. The elevation change here is insane. Some would probably liken it to a mini Nürburgring in that sense. Oh, Infamous runs a little bit wide. Still think that might be a bit of a wrong call from the team to put them on mediums. I can understand potentially the softs over the supers, but doesn't seem to be quite working for them at the moment. They're still a bit off the pace. Splurge, very nicely done over the curb. Really charging their way around the forest section. Oh, and indeed, there's the first mistake that we see at Sheen Curve. Managing to hold on to that. Fantastic form. Oh, I shouldn't have spoken too soon. That's Infamous who's gone off at Sheen Curve as well. Just carrying a bit too much speed, and we know the Audi tends to understeer more because of the front wheel drive. So that's going to ruin that lap. Will they go into the pits and perhaps put on a set of supers? Though I don't know if they'll be able to get back round again in time. I don't think they will. Meanwhile, I think Splurge has gone off to the beach. In fact, he's gone back to the pits now, before we could see that. Nils making their way around. Will it be another improvement in lap time? He's already got pole position. It's looking a scorcher. And indeed, betters it by only a few thousandths of a second, but nevertheless, 128.840 for them. I think everyone will be able to get onto just about another lap. Infamous getting out the way. Checker flag about to come up. Some of these guys on an hour lap, so Splurge's qualifying is done. Fourth is going to be the best he can do. So these guys will be finishing their laps and then parking up. But at the moment it is Nils with a 6/10 advantage over Eddie. And Eddie's actually improved quite a lot considering where he was at the Mountain King Challenge, so that extra bit of practice with the car definitely seemed to have helped the Irishman. Not improving through that sector, so it looks like it could be second for them. So Bottle Job's in the pits. So that's actually going to put them out of position in terms of where they qualify. I'm going to have to check the times. Infamous on outlap, of course. I believe it's just Eddie here who is on a lap. And I don't think they are anymore because they slowed down. Yep, they're going into the pits. So here is your qualifying results. Then Nils taking pole position. We've just got a screenshot of that to be safe. Nils with a 128.8, the only Group 4 car into the 128s. Followed by, I believe it is Sir Bottlejob actually taking second, 129.3. Eddie third, 129.5. Fourth will be Splurge, 129.8. And fifth, Infamous, 130.3. We're about to get Group 3 qualifying underway. And yes, indeed, we are qualifying them separately. There was a slight rule change that was added. Just to essentially avoid traffic and such. Here we go then. Group 3 qualifying live. It's going to be Group that leads them out. Car 89. Amuda in second at the moment, Fred Dude third, Nicholas Cole fourth, CJ seeming to wait a bit for a bit of space. Don't blame him. Nice having you in chat as well, Emilius. Forgot to say that. He's bigging up Nils in the chat. And indeed, Crazy John is now making their way out on circuit. So all of these guys using... Actually, no, CJ is on the regular softs. I think he's realised that and indeed has instantly switched. As we have some random panning of the crowd here at Brands Hatch here today. Seeming to be a bit of an issue with social distancing. As here we see the Toyota of CJ making their way up to the Druid's hairpin, picking up a little bit of dust. Car 25 making their way round. We're about to see the first laps. Going on board with Groot, we will. CJ back to the pits. Not sure what's happening there, Chief. Maybe he picked up some damage, but he's going to rejoin in traffic. Here we go, Groot. Down through Paddock Hill Bend. The compression can send you very wide. Upwards to the Druid's hairpin. That incline allows you to brake later than you might otherwise do. From the downhill leading to Graham Hill Bend. Nicely cut. You can really get up on that banking on the outside of the exit of the corner there to just carry the speed. Making their way onto the back straight of the circuit. Could see some slipstreaming opportunities. Through this very, very fast and challenging right-hander. I believe that one's Hawthorns. And then this whole forest section towards the back of the circuit. Again, very tricky. You can see how narrow the track is. And then sheen curve. Make sure you don't take too much curb that you get spat off the circuit. Groot seemed to get the suspension set up nicely done in order to take some of that curb. And then the final corner, clock curve, making their way onto the start-finish straight again. It looks like some of the cars behind have backed off a bit. It's going to be a 122.4 for Groot. Good lap by them, but bettered by PRT Nicholas Carl, 121.0. Fred Dude goes second, 121.8. So Groot third at the moment. Amuda in fourth, 123.4, and Crazy John yet to set a lap, still on an out lap at the moment, going through the forest section. So Nicholas Carl currently first blood to them. And improving again by 2/10 through that sector. Looking increasingly impressive. Yep, that was indeed Hawthorns. Just managed to check that on the track map. 3/10 up now for them. Oh, they run a little bit wide though. That could have an effect on their time. Groot is about to come across the line. Will they be able to improve on their own time? It's looking close. I don't think it will. Yeah, actually it will. Because of the commentator again. They stay third, but they get closer to Fred's time. And an improvement indeed for Nicholas Carl, 120.8. Into the 1 minute 20s then for them. Fred Dude, no improvement that time around. Seemed to be a bit close to Amuda. So Amuda getting a bit of a slipstream advantage. CJ making their way through the final sectors of the circuit. Through Sheen Curve. And now towards Clark. Oh, he just kicked up a bit of dust on entry. Well held to not run wide from that. He's going to run it to the line. It's not going to be enough. It's going to be a 123.7. That is last place for CJ. No doubt he'll be able to try and find a bit more time in the upcoming laps. Nicholas is actually catching Groot, it would seem, on circuit. Could end up holding him up a bit. There's yellow flags for whatever reason being waved by that marshal. I think he's blind. Groot goes into the pits, as does Nicholas Carl. fresh set of boots to them, and out the pits they go. Pretty much the same gap as when they came in. Seems like Groot is trying to let them go, or in fact they was waiting for Fred Dude to go past. Fred Dude did improve that time around, 121.485 for Fred Dude. So a good luck for them, but still 6/10 off, nearly 7/10 off of Nicholas Carl. So car number 11 looking not quite as competitive as car number 12. Oh, numbers right next to each other. What are the chances of that? Would be useful if the above car graphics reflected that. Groot very closely following behind Nicholas Carl, both on out laps of course. I think, unless he's improving this time around, Fred could be on track to go into the pits. Indeed is a 10th and a bit down. Might want to go into the pits if he wants to get another lap in as well. CJ meanwhile, 121.3 is now Nicholas Carl's closest challenger. He's up to second, a 10th and a half just about over Fred Dude. Indeed, Fred Dude does go into the pits. So the Starscream mechanics do their thing and release him into some clear air. While Groot is going to continue using that slipstream strategy. Will be affected with some dirty air, but perhaps because it is such a high-speed circuit, the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. Indeed, he seems to be up a bit through that first sector, does Groot. Remember, as they go through the qualifying session, the fuel will continue to burn off, making the cars lighter as well. Something else to keep into consideration. Someone has spun. I'm not sure who that was. I think it was CJ based on where the arrows were on circuit, so he may have cooked the tyres. I don't think he's on Hancooks. No, he's on Michelin's. Fresh set. And out the pits he goes. He should be able to get onto another lap. Purple again for Nicholas Carl. Half a 10th. Picking up even more dust. I think doing that slightly doesn't seem to affect the times too much. It certainly seems to be working for him. Where does he improve? Yep, 120.7 for Nicholas Carl now. So continuing to up the pace, impressive stuff by the German driver. CJ still making their way around on that outlap. I think that's Amuda up ahead of him. Amuda's currently 5th. He's picked up damage, so Amuda's probably going to have to pit in. Indeed, he's 11 seconds down, so he must have made a mistake somewhere. Unless that was him that we saw spinning on the track map earlier. Fred Dude improving by 2.5 tenths. CJ about to go on to their final lap of the session. It's going to be close with these guys. We're going to have to be very careful to see where they come out in terms of the timing of the session. It's going to be close. I don't think they're going to quite make it. Six, 7, 8, 9. Yep, none of them made it. So that's the final times. Groot does improve, but stays 4th. Did Nicholas Carl improve? No, not on that occasion. Fred Dude continuing round up. He's picked up damage. So it's going to be 3rd maximum for them, but the key here is going to be CJ. He's gone onto the gravel a little bit through there. We're going to go on board with the Mad Greek, carrying speed. Look how close he gets to the outside of Sheen Curve. He is improving, but not by enough to get him pole, unless he has an absolutely worldly final sector. It seems like he's paused. Indeed. That's pretty much it for CJ then. He's going to come across the line. It's not going to be an improvement now, although he could have improved on his time. There is your qualifying results. I'm going to screenshot that as well. Break has begun. Okay. So you're qualifying there. It was Nicholas on pole, 120.7. That was the best time. What will be second? Crazy John, 121.3. Fred Dude was third, though he's left the circuit. Fourth was Groot, impressive showing by them, 121.858. And Amuda, 123.443, will be starting fifth. So we're just having the break period now. Hope you've enjoyed the qualifying sessions. Race will be getting underway and hopefully not overly long, just several minutes away. If you're enjoying so far, consider leaving a like on the stream so other people can also enjoy what you are enjoying as well. Consider subscribing as well if you've not already to stay in touch as to when the streams go live for all of Season 5.5 of the Nukeshot Endurance series here on Nukeshot Media. Some people not happy with the typing while some were still finishing their laps. Understandable. We do actually have a rule against that. I believe that's on the SRF license. Not SRF license, but the official rule book for the Sim Racing Federation. I believe it's one of the basic rules that's encouraged. I'm just gonna reset the stream on my end. Wait, was that the sound of someone leaving or rejoining? Or, oh, okay. Don't know what's happened there. So some of these guys have just gone as they're on break. Amuda and Nils. Okay, it will actually be a grid start this time around, so classic Nukeshot Endurance Series style, multi-class grid start. The categories will be separated though, and given the high-speed nature of Turn 1, shouldn't see the field stacking up. Everything should be fine. Up to 12 viewers! That's seriously impressive by my standards. Okay, Mika, well, the race itself is going to last at least an hour, so you might still be able to get there. Hello to John Wandering in chat. Yeah, again, don't worry about it. It will be nice to see you a bit later on in the season if you can. Otherwise, it's completely understandable. Real life commitments and all of that juicy stuff. Okay, time for me to set the grid. So, Nicholas was on pole, CJ was second, Fred Dude was third, fourth was Groot, fifth was Amuda. And now the Group 4 order. I believe it was Nils on pole for that. Capture gallery. I'll be with you guys in a second. Yep, it was Nils, then Bottle Job, then Eddie. Nils, then Bottle Job, then Eddie. Okay, that's pretty much set. And then who was ahead? Splurge or Infamous? It was Splurge. Okay. There's your grid. Okay, Mika, don't worry about it. Nothing's impressive about anything Nukeshot. Cheers, John. Much appreciated. You know you've made it when you've got haters. That's what I say. Nah, it's all good. It's all good, lad. Okay, Fred Dude has left the circuit, I assume just to switch something up. It's an interesting dynamic, having a host while also doing the commentary. Mind you, it's a bit like random race commentary, I guess. The Roadster thing, yes. Is that next week or the week after the Roadster Rumble? We've still got some spaces left for that. I think the one thing that I didn't do for this particular stream was leave the link to the thread in the description. However, if you go over to GT Planet, go onto forums, then threads, then go into the oh, what is it? I'll type the URL in chat. There's an idea. Okay, yep. Oh, and it even turns into a hyperlink. That's fantastic. Okay, everyone seems to be ready. Here we go then. 44 laps of what is probably going to be chaos. Let's see how we go. And yes, indeed, no typing while we're racing, CJ. I don't care how long or short the straights are. Here we go then, the Group 3 and 4 showdown for the Nukeshot Endurance Series 5.5. On pole position we have Nicholas Carl, second place the Crazy John, Fred Dude third, Group 4, Amuda fifth. For pole in Group 4, Nilsman, Sir Bottle Job in second, Eddie in third, then it will Splurge fourth and Infamous in fifth. We're about to get racing underway here for the Group 3 and 4 showdown. Green, 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 and the cars are off. Eddie seems to have got a bit of a jump start, bit of shuffling up the order. Crazy John takes the lead as Nicholas Cole is being challenged around the outside. Going into turn 1, the Group 3 cars do seem to get away a bit better. So Bottle Job's up into the lead of Group 4 meanwhile. Good start by them. The Honda seem to have bogged down a little bit off the line as we see Group being challenged by Amuda. Managed to hold on to that. The guys continuing to make their way around through Surtees for the first time. Onto the back straight. slipstream, pretty much impossible to break at this early stage, but the top three already starting to get a little bit of a gap, as we see a Muda challenging Groot, not quite close enough as they go through Hawthorns. Pressure extremely intense in this opening lap. Tyres are going to be at their coldest. Going over to the Group 4s again, so Bottle Jump has managed to get a bit of a gap over Nils. In fact, Splurge is up into second, so Splurge has overtaken their fellow Honda driver Nils. Nils has had not the best of starts here, and Eddie has also dropped down from the start. Probably the front wheel drive car's not getting the best of launches. And yeah, I'll be sure to save the replay. If not, I'm sure someone else will. But I'll try my best to remember. Honda's still looking quite racy as they make their way through Paddock Hill. As we see the Audis going side by side. Eddie to the inside. The teammate goes wide. Is that a bit of a lockup or something? Nevertheless, they've gone off. And that is Eddie up into 9th place. Crazy John, and side by side with Nicholas Cole. Nicholas looking for the outside line. Will CJ be able to hold on to it? Just about. Making their way through Hawthorns. This is all allowing Freddo to stay with these guys. This is what I'm talking about. They managed to get a gap over the other two. So already two groups emerging in Group 3. Very intense stuff. Going to be difficult monitoring the whole rest of the field if these guys keep this up for the rest of the race. Nicholas still right on the back of CJ, making their way towards Paddock Hill once again. Oh, seem to get a little bit of a better run. CJ goes defensive. Nicholas looking to the outside of Druids, so it's going to be difficult to hang around the outside there. Indeed, has to slot back in. Meanwhile, the Hondas side by side. Splurge has picked up a penalty, and while serving that has let Nils go back through into second in category. But indeed, as noted in chat from Joe Mondrin, so Bottle Job has really managed to get a good start here in that Cayman, car 163. Nice of you to sort the above car graphics out for that one. Oh, look at that. Jack Wilkinson laying on the floor, being ran over by these guys. That's the kind of commitment that he has to the Nukeshot Endurance Series. Still the battle up in the lead, raging on. As I think one of the Audis may have lost a bit of time to the rest of the Group 4s. They seem to be a bit further back. Nicholas all over the grass a little bit. Indeed, Infamous seems to have dropped off the pace a little bit. They haven't picked up damage, but that could be the medium tyres that they're starting on. They've got the hazards on. Perhaps they're paused or something then. That's odd. Crazy John making their way through Paddock Hill again. Nicholas around the back of them, and then Fred Dude as well. Here we are on board with Fred Dude. Running a little bit wide through Graham Hill Bend. Oh, good view of the action up ahead as well. So Crazy John managing to defend that inside line again. Good racecraft by him. Nicholas again can't quite find their way past. And that in turn is allowing Fred to catch up again, though he understeers a bit. Can't quite get on the power the way he wants to out the corner. Proper juicy stuff. Here we go again. Oh, car 11 right in the back of this. Gonna see if we can get a rear wing cam on Crazy John's car. Indeed we can. Here it is. Just seeing the kind of pressure up close. Nicholas again looking to the outside, looking for that bit of a better exit through Paddock Hill. Can't quite get it on this occasion. Oh, and there's contact! Contact in the braking zone. Was there any damage to either car? I don't think so. Look, he escaped there. Just making his presence known. That could have easily have been damage to either car, really, in that case. Difficult to take our eyes off this one. Just monitoring the other arrows at the moment. This is by far the closest thing on the circuit. Fred Dude still looking to see if he can gain anything from this battling. Crazy John really defending for all he's worth. Up to 13 viewers now on stream. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Shout out to Remain Sue, or however that's pronounced, Romandu, or whatever, for liking my activity. Big up yourself. The train pretty much staying as it is at the moment. But if this keeps up for 44 laps, then we really got a race on our hands. If anything, CJ seems to have got a little bit of gap. No, it closes back in again. Nicholas Carl goes purple through that sector. Current best lap is by Nicholas Carl, 121.5. As they seem to maybe be coming under a bit of attack from Fred Dude. No, not quite. Now let's check in on the rest of these guys. So Bottle Job has been closed in on by Nils over the last few laps. The Honda looming in the background. So 163 being caught by 62. As Eddie's actually managed to get ahead of Splurge. So using the advantage that the Audi has on the straights, it would seem. Managing to get that one to work quite nicely for him. That seems to have happened a bit earlier in the lap. Splurge sliding around like a fish out of water. We'll have to be trying to get a bit of a slipstream here. But again, we know the front-wheel drive cars with the balance of performance do have the advantage on the straights. So the Honda not seeming to gain anything, only through the corners. Then in fact, Eddie goes wide. That allows for Splurge to catch back up. What can car 93 do here through the forest section? As in fact, I believe it's getting close again. Yep, things have really closed up between CJ and Nicholas Carl. Side by side they go once again for the lead in Group 3. I think that's going to be easily defended again by CJ unless Nicholas gets a bit of a cutback. Squaring off the corner, no, not quite. Nils continuing to eat into that gap between them and Sir Bottle Job, down to 7/10. And Eddie still holding on to 8th place overall. That's 3rd in category. 5 in each category here today at Brands Hatch. Honda is looking better in the corners, but can't really find any answers for that Audi on the straights. Jack Wilkinson once again being ran over. We're about to see the first bit of lappery here, I think, as Infamous is being caught by the Group 3 leaders. Will that be the kind of break that Nicholas Carl needs to finally get past CJ? Again, the pressure continuing to mount. CJ is doing a good job here under pressure. Making their way through Surtees, and indeed the Subaru gets another run around the outside. In terms of the top speed performance of these cars, it would seem that it's pretty much equal, and it's just the slipstream that is making the difference. Fred Dude again just sticking back in a little bit clearer air the further back he gets. Not by much though. As indeed there is Infamous up ahead. on board with Nicholas Carl this time around. Let's see how they do getting past the traffic. Infamous seeming to let them go. Good work. Fred Dude, oh, Fred Dude's gone off. Fred Dude has gone off trying to overtake round the outside. Yellow flag, someone else has gone off as well. Who's that in the gravel? That's the other Audi, that's Eddie, who's gone off. Well, we're gonna have to see replays of these shortly. So here was what happened to Fred Dude. So as he was trying to overtake around the outside, just ran out of room. And then what happened to Eddie? Let's see. I think he may have just ran a bit wide going through Paddock Hill. We're about to see. Was it just understeer? Yep, by himself, looping the car around. So that's Fred Dude out of this battle for now, at least. He's managed to make his way past Infamous at this point. But the battle for the lead of the race between two cars, where there were three, now there are two. Crazy John and Nicholas Carl. The next bit of traffic they'll be coming up to, I believe, is going to be Nils. No, not Nils, that's Splurge. Just had to check which Honda was which. Indeed, there is Splurge. 0.5 second penalty, that'll be for corner cutting. Crazy John still holding on, but I'm not a rapper. Let's see the tyre wear comparisons between these guys. A little bit more tyre wear on the Subaru, interestingly enough, particularly on the back. The front tyres seem to be about equal. Indeed, they are catching Splurge at possibly the most difficult part of the circuit to overtake a Group 4 car, this forest section. Yellow flags up ahead, someone else has gone off. Is that is Nils, that's Nils, isn't it? He's off, he's on the inside of the circuit. Luckily avoids running into these guys, but there you see, Crazy John having to be held up. Oh, Splurge! Very sideways. Good car control to save that one. And somehow they managed to get through in one piece. Nils, what happened to him? So he was actually with Sir Bottlejob at the time. Was there any contact between these guys, or was it just a mistake? So it was for the lead. It was a mistake, he just ran wide. And then he span it there as the other cars came through. Here they go. There goes Splurge. And then hopefully if we can just see... There it was, the sideways moment, no contact in all of that madness. Crazy John still in the lead of Group 3 after that scare. Someone is in the pits, that's one of the Audis, that is Infamous, already changing tyres. He was on the mediums, in fact he's picked up engine damage somewhere, and front aero. Not sure where that's happened, nevertheless he's out the pits now. Through the forest section they go, they've just lapped the Group 4 leader now, Sir Bottlejob, after Nils made that mistake, dropping him down to 3rd in class. John wondering in chat, wondering why they didn't make the Subaru BRZ a Group 3 car. A fair point, that would have been quite juicy. Nevertheless, the Group 3 WRX, nice addition. I mean, it's always best if there's both. As race leader in Group 4 into the pits, Sir Bottlejob. Where do they rejoin? They rejoin... oh, Splurge about to overtake them around the outside on the rejoin. I don't know if Splurge has actually made a pit stop yet, though. Indeed they haven't. So Sir Bottlejob's effectively a pit stop ahead of these guys. Group, meanwhile, into the pits. in that Peugeot RCZ, fueled up and out again. Nice helmet as well. They're rejoining behind Amuda in 5th. The spice continues here on Nukeshot Media. Through the forest section coming towards Sheen Curve. Oh, very close to the grass again. CJ's arch nemesis. Running wide, Nicholas Carl. I think that cost him a little bit of time, but sticking in the slipstream. As someone else is just coming out of the pits. They'll be rejoining right with these guys. That is Infamous. They managed to lap him safely. Fred Dude in 3rd. He's currently 7 seconds off the back of Nicholas. He's got clear air though. He could be making up a bit of ground at this stage. As Groot has got a 0.5 second penalty. As Amuda seems to have gone off, did they? They were passed. That's where they picked up the penalty, through that section of the forest. Yep, slight clip of the grass. That would have put dirt on the tyres and they ran wide again. Well saved. Nils meanwhile came into the pits. They rejoined in 3rd in category again. But it's the other Honda NSX that is in the lead at the moment. But chased down. They've still not made their pit stop as Splurge. The tyres are cut. And in fact, the battle for the lead in Group 4, right here, right now. Fatboy Slim. Splurge still holding on. But you gotta think those tyres are going to be pretty much shot. I think the guys that have pitted already are aiming for 3 stops. Splurge might be trying to stretch it to a 2-stop. Oh! So Bottle Job's gone off! He's gone off! He's recovered it just about. Whew. Scary moment for them. And somehow CJ is still managing to keep Nicholas Carr behind him. Excellent defensive work here by the Greek. A reminder, if anyone wants to get involved in any of the future events that we're holding on the upcoming Sundays throughout the rest of the year, be sure to check the link that I posted in the live chat. I'll probably edit the description after the stream to also include a link to the thread. You can sign up and be a part of all the action here on Nukeshot Media. Hello, Joe Witt. Nice having you in chat as well. He's turned 27 today. Hence he's not able to make it here today. Real life commitments. As someone has gone into the pits. That is Eddie. Is that for their first pit stop? No, because they've made one, it would seem, on lap 8 as well. As Nicholas Carl goes into the pits, so they're going to try and get a bit of an undercut on CJ, it would seem. Perhaps both of them aiming for 2 stops. And they're going to come out behind Fred Dude, so Fred Dude's managed to get the undercut on Nicholas. So that's worked out a treat for Fred Dude, but he's going to have to extend the rest of his stints, because I think at the moment he's on track for a 3-stop. So good work by Fred nevertheless to find himself up the order. And Crazy John flashing his lights at the car up ahead. That's Eddie. Letting him go by. Look at the kind of speed he's carrying through Hawthorns. Really impressive, especially on worn rubber. Oh, just getting into the gravel. Now through Sheen. Now you've got to think he is going to have to come into the pits in order to cover off Nicholas Carl, otherwise Nicholas would get the undercut on him. Indeed, into the pits he goes. tyre change. He's probably going to come out behind Fred. In fact, no, Fred goes into the pits. He's not picked up damage, but Fred into the pits. His tyres were really worn considering he's already made a pit stop before. That's very strange. So the BMW M6, in fairness, like real life, BMW GT cars these days, wearing its tyres out quick. And indeed Nicholas has managed to get past CJ in the pit stop cycle. So that saving fuel, as noted by Joe in the chat, has definitely seemed to have helped. Did Fred not pit before? I'm almost certain he did. I think it was earlier on, but I'm almost certain he... No, what it was he lost time because he made a mistake, but he didn't pick up damage. That's where it was. My apologies for getting that confused. Thanks for clearing that one up in chat. I'm just the guy that does the speaking. And everything else, but let's ignore that. So Nicholas' car with a 4.7 second gap. Surprised if he's managed to get that in just one lap, as someone has slide McGeeing around. Who is that? That's a Group 3 car. That was Groot, in fact. Getting very sideways through the forest section. He's got a bit of a penalty. He's through this upcoming section. I assume he just... Oh, it's the curb. The curb really unsettling. The car's hit the wall, he's picked up damage. So we can expect Groot to be into the pit shortly. No, he's staying out. Okay. Perhaps thinking he'll just finish off the stint and see where he goes from there, rather than losing more time in the pits. Indeed, it was with the Audi at Clark Curve, wasn't it, in the lapping process? Well, he's got past the Audi this time. This time it was Eddie. I think it was infamous he was lapping before. Assuming to have no issues that time around. Groot still in fourth, pretty much by himself. 19 seconds to the car ahead, 18 to the car behind. Amuda, last in category, but still 5th place. Seem to be in a bit of Group 4 traffic at this stage. Very slidey on exit of Surtees. Quite strange. Mind you, the Supra is quite a slippy car in its Group 3 format. Oh, even through there. Oh, he's ran wide. He's span it. He's into the wall, surely. Yep. Contact with the wall. Rear aero damage, rear suspension. Oh! And that splurge has gone off in the background as well. Splurge managed to keep it. Oh! And that is a Muda off again. And this time he has picked up engine damage. So this is what happened in that second part. We know what happened that first. And his front tyres are absolutely cooked. Why on earth is he trying to stay out like that? He lit up the rears into the wall. No idea how he's managed to wear the fronts that much. But he's coming into the pit surely. Nicholas extending the gap by a couple of tenths. Yellow flags in the sector ahead. That's someone who's gone off. Who's that gone off the circuit at Clark? That is... It's Splurge! Splurge has gone off. And Splurge is disconnected. So I'm going to assume that... was there any steering inputs or anything from Splurge? No. I don't even think that's a intentional rage quit or anything of that sort. I think that is just a disconnection. So that is Splurge out of this race. First retirement, it would seem. Hello to Tomsoft in chat, nice having you around as well. Oh, was very close to picking up dust on the outside by Nicholas Carr. Really laying into the tyres at this stage. 120.9 is his best lap of the race so far. Oh, Groot choosing not to run over Jack Wilkinson on that occasion. Oh, Sir Bottlejob living up to their name. We've just managed to catch that on exit of Paddock Hill Bend. They've caught the gravel, and right behind them for the lead in Group 4, it's Sir Nilsman. I nearly said Sir Bottlejob's behind Sir Bottlejob because that makes sense. So this is now officially the closest battle on circuit, and it's the battle for the Group 4 lead. Now that the one for Group 3 seems to have stabilised at a bit of a gap. What can Nilsman do? He's got slipstream. But the Porsche seems to have the advantage on the straights. Just sticking behind for now. And so far, so Bottlejob's doing a good job. Oh, bit of dust kicked up. That could potentially send them wide here at Sheen. They acknowledged that and seem to have took that into consideration, slowing down a little bit. Car 62 really closing in, and the pressure continues to mount. In terms of lap times, we see what we've got going on. Nilsman's last one, a 1 minute 30.1. 132.0 for Sir Bottlejob. No doubt that mistake at Paddock Hill will have contributed to that. Someone else has gone into the pit lane. That is Fred Dude. Fred Dude in again. Fred Dude's picked up damage somewhere. I don't know whether that was lapping traffic or something. CJ, meanwhile, set the new fastest lap of the race. That was odd. He may have lost it by himself. He's going to rejoin in 4th place, so right behind Groot. There's another battle on the cards then. I don't see any Group 4s going into the pits, so I think that might have just been Fred by himself going off circuit. We'll now have a bit of a slipstream run on the RCZ. The RCZ has been quite good on the straights though, it's quite pointy towards the front. We saw that come into effect at the Sanquhar 1R when CJ was running that against Fred Dude in the M6. Nevertheless, Fred Dude easily manages to make his way through Groot, not really putting up much resistance, and moves back up to 3rd place then, does Fred Dude. Oh, and Groot span! He's looped it, does he keep it out the wall? Oh, I think he's just tapped it, yeah. We're gonna have to see that one again, Chief. Probably best to see what happened from this perspective. So I think he just ran wide, got on the power too early, pushed himself wide, span it round, overcorrected, just tapped the wall slightly, but it was enough to give him damage. Choosing to stay out. Actually no, I think that damage is the damage he had earlier still, so I think he avoided picking up any more damage on that occasion. Crazy John does have the fastest lap now, 120.921 as mentioned earlier. However, they are still in 2nd, and the gap has increased to 6.4 seconds. Someone in Group... Okay, a couple of guys in Group 4 have come into the pits, so Bottlejob being one of them, Eddie's the other. Eddie out the pits, so Bottlejob behind, but Eddie being a lap down, of course. Field really mixed up. We're just about at the halfway point of this race. If you're continuing to enjoy the stream, be sure to leave a like to allow others to find and enjoy it just as much as you are. Consider subscribing if you want to stay in touch with all the action here on Nukeshot Media throughout the rest of Nukeshot Endurance Series 5.5. Nicholas Cole again kicking up more dust and gravel. Someone else's span. I don't know who that is. I'll scroll through. It was either Fred or Amuda. Fred's actually gone off circuit again. Grew into the pits meanwhile. I'll see who it was. It was Amuda. Yep, they span at the Druid's hairpin towards the top. Perhaps the car just getting away from him. The tyres aren't too cooked yet. Nils in from the lead in Group 4. Where will they rejoin? It looks like Sir Bottlejob might be able to get ahead of them indeed. There they are. It's going to be close actually as they go out the pits. I think Sir Bottlejob just ahead. Yep. There they are, and there is Nils. But Nils on the fresher tyres. Unsubscribes. You can if you want. I'm not against that either. I'm just thinking for people's benefit, if they want to stay in touch with the rest of the series, it helps. Notifications and all that. I'm definitely not forcing people to watch this against their will. Cough, cough. So Nils having to make up a bit of that gap again, and crucially, so Bottlejob has managed to break slipstream. It's up to 1 second gap. 7.5 tenths is the normal slipstream range. Of course, the dirty air won't be affecting the Group 4 cars as much as it would the Group 3s. Will Nils be able to close in? Oh, bit of dust kicked up by Sir Bottlejob. A lot of these guys have been rally crossing here today. Battle of the Audis. 13 seconds, the gap between the two of them. Infamous ahead of Eddie at this point. Eddie, oh! What on earth has happened to Eddie? Eddie, not that steady into the pits. Picked up engine damage from that. What on earth happened? He wasn't due to come into the pits anyway, but he decided to? Unless he just oversteered. Ah, it was just oversteer. Right, that was it. So he just oversteered into the pit lane and then into the wall. That's unfortunate. That's increased the gap between them and Infamous, as Amuda is into the pits. No damage that time around, just back into the super softs. I think they're on the regular softs before that. Indeed they were. Blue flag's being given as Groot is coming up to lap them. That's an in-category lappery, not a split category one. In terms of the front in Group 3, 7.3 seconds the gap now between Nicholas Carl and Crazy John. Crazy John, 0.5 second penalty. Furry Carson would have been proud of that one. Oh dear. And of course, Furry not too uncommonly associated with pit wall crashes. It was the first series I actually raced in on GT Sport in terms of league racing, was FRL TOCA 14. One of the brake markers has been knocked over. I've just noticed that polystyrene marker. CJ goes wide, trying to make up time on Nicholas Carl, just overdriving the car a bit, it would seem. Oh, bit of lappery. Fred dude getting past the Group 4 leaders. Fred going a bit wide. Ooh, it's all very close. Now Suboto Job will benefit from having a bit of slipstream from Fred as they go down the straight. Nevertheless, Nils is still right there, putting the pressure on. CJ, stop typing. You've not even been in the pits recently. I think. Has he? No, he hasn't. And he's still typing in chat. I thought we had an agreement. Evidently not. Here we go. Nils does get a run. They're looking to the outsideline.com. Oh, they got the speed around the outside. Got the spade? What? Buckets and spades, and Nils has managed to find their way around the outside of Clark Curve. Nice work, Nils. Car 62 up into the lead again of Group 4. Of course, they were at Polstead, I remember, Nils. Didn't have the best of starts, but they're back up there again. Should be a fantastic battle with Sir Bottlejob as we are into the second half of the race. Have been for a little while. Oh, a little bit of lag. Hopefully that clears up for these guys. Nicholas Carl finding their way to some traffic. That's a Muda up ahead of them. Oh, there you also saw the purple machine of Group, currently 4th in Group 3. Should be interesting to see what Muda does here, because it is in the same category. Yep, the blue flags do apply normally. Well done, Amuda, for that one. Normally, if it's different categories, you would encourage the slower category car to stay on a predictable racing line for safety reasons. But of course, same category, slightly different. Nils starting to get a bit of a gap over Sir Bottlejob now, 1.1 seconds. It's gone down a bit actually. Sir Bottlejob seemed to get a better run through Paddock Hill and back into slipstream range. Hello, D-Look in chat. Nice having you here. Hope you're enjoying the stream as much as I am. And if not, then oh well. Battle of the Audis. It's come down again, 25 seconds, as Eddie is being lapped by Groot. Nicely done. Groot again pretty much by himself. 30 seconds to Fred Dude up ahead. Car 14 still going strong. Oh, and that is Muda, I think, who's just gone off in the background into the gravel, overcooking it. Gotta be careful with the rejoin. Yep, stays on the grass, as I think that was CJ going through. Countless close calls here today. There's a name for a highlights package. Someone else has gone off. Who's that? It's not Amuda, but it's CJ. CJ's gone off. CJ's gone off, and Amuda trying to avoid them, having to take to the grass. Of course, wouldn't make sense for Amuda to re-overtake CJ after that, given he was the car ahead and would have to obey blue flags anyway. But CJ into the pits. No damage. So there's just a mistake, and he's cooked the tyres. Bit more than medium rare or well done. Out the pits they go. That's probably his last pit stop of the race. Maybe trying the undercut on Nicholas, but I reckon Nicholas will probably end up covering that off. They're making their way past Infamous. Fred Dude going on to lap 30 of 44. Again, pretty much on the quiet part of the circuit. There's a lot of cars going through the forest section and towards the end of the lap. Fred pretty much by himself at the Druid's hairpin. Over to Group 4 again. The gap has increased 2.2 seconds between Nils and Sir Bottlejob. Seems to be the main fight going on in that category. Groot coming through these guys as well. As indeed Nicholas did go into the pits. They rejoined ahead of Eddie. And where in relation to CJ? Oh, still quite a way ahead. Of course, that mistake from CJ on his in-lap will probably have cost him more time. Indeed, the gap around 18.5 seconds, it would seem. As going slowly, Zamuda, he's picked up damage. What's happened to him? Oh, he ran a bit wide. He must have got dust on the tyres. Is that... oh, kick of oversteer, a bit too eager on the throttle. Finds himself in the wall. Easy done, especially when you have picked up dust on the tyres. Well, there's been plenty of action to keep us occupied throughout all of this. The field pretty spread out at this stage though. Oh, there's another arrow that's going sideways. I think it's the Muda again. And he's picked up more damage, somehow. That other suspension corner. I think he's pushing too much when he probably shouldn't with the damage he already has on the back of the car. It's going to be unstable at the back anyway. He's probably going to bring it to the pits. Oh, that was all four wheels across the pit entry there. You're allowed two across the lines. But things not really working out that well for him at this stage. CJ still second, Fred Dude's still third, Groot fourth, Nelson's sixth overall. Top of the Group 4 category. The gap continuing to increase between them and Sir Bottlejob. 5.2 seconds, 5.3 now as it continues to increase. Nicholas Carl about to lap Sir Bottlejob. Joe saying that Amuda's just drifting on purpose, he's doing a drift compilation. It would seem a little bit like that at times. Into the pits goes Infamous. And in fact that's allowed Eddie to retake the lead of that Audi battle. So Eddie back into 8th place. As Infamous rejoins in 9th. And CJ made a pit stop, he's now exiting the pits as well, car 25. So he must have picked up damage himself somewhere. Yep, front aero damage. Must have missed that. Hopefully that wasn't contact with another car. Coming up to Infamous here. Nice overtake, that's how it's done when lapping a car. You square up the corner and then dive down the inside on corner exit. Got wide out of turn 4. Stop typing, but also thanks to the update. Glad it wasn't a collision with another car then. Oh, what on earth is going on here? Amuda and Fred Dude close together again, Amuda letting him go by. So bottle job into the pits. No damage. Fueling up the car. Of course, the fuel intake is actually towards the front of the car on the Porsche, with the engine being further towards the back. Sort of offsets the weight. Can mean that the front of the Porsches can wash out a little bit. Nevertheless, still going. Absolute melons in chat. Can we see some melon emojis in chat just for the sake of it? 11 viewers. Nice having you guys tuned in to the action. We're in essentially the final stages of the race. Around 14 laps to go. Or correction, 10 laps to go for the Group 3 cars, so probably 9 for the Group 4s, given that they'll probably be lapped one more time. Oh, something has happened again with Eddie. Eddie continuing to not be that steady. Unsteady Eddie. Running wide out of Hawthorns, collecting the wall, nearly collecting Jack Wilkinson. Notice how he didn't flinch. And then wide into the gravel again. Oh, there's no melon emojis in chat. That's sad. There's a boat emoji though. Oh no, that is a melon. It's a slice of melon. It looked like a boat with a sail. I've got a really small phone screen that I've got up to read chat, and ignore me. Thanks for the melon emoji there, Joe. Much appreciated. Very cool. Fred dude coming through the Audis. The Audis are still quite close together on circuit then. Even despite Eddie getting that damage. Brute into the pits. The purple Peugeot. With the race against dementia branding. Makes their way out the pits. So yeah, the battle between Eddie and Infamous. Teammates of course, same car. Only 1 second between the two of them. Eddie runs a little bit wide. And indeed that's allowing Infamous to really close up. So the Audi's putting on a good show for us. Going on board here with Infamous. Oh, and Eddie runs wide. Infamous trying to line up the exit. Remember, as soon as you get on the power on the front wheel drive Audis, do tend to understeer. We've got another car about to lap them. But look at this. They're about to be side by side as they cross the line. He's still got his hazard lights on, I think. Or an indicator or something. Yeah, it is hazard lights. And down the inside of Paddock Hill. But they have to slot back in behind Eddie, it would seem. Amuda's coming upon these guys. That's the car about to do the lappery. Great battle going on between the two Audis. Oh, kick of oversteer for Infamous as Amuda finds their way to the inside. Oh, has to back out of it. I was just waiting for the straight. Oh, over the grass! The pass on the grass! Taking us back to the Nürburgring 24 hours of a couple years ago. And Amuda does manage to find their way through. The Audis again closing together. That slipstream seemed to really benefit them. Equal machinery, so the slipstream going to be key. And looking to the inside again, goes Infamous. It's a shorter run using that insideline.com. And I think he's managed to get ahead before the braking zone, indeed. Nice work by Infamous, but Eddie's going to come back at him. I think he's got another better run through Paddock Hill. But Infamous manages to stay ahead. Good work there. Car 29 ahead of car 87. Back with our overall race leader in Group 3, Nicholas Carl. 36.9 seconds, nearly 37 seconds then, ahead of Crazy John. Let's check the tyres. Seemingly fine towards the end of the race, same with fuel. Crazy John's got a fair bit more fuel. Oh, he's ran a little bit wide. He's got to be careful he doesn't make another mistake, because if CJ needs to make another trip to the pits, that's going to put him in Fred Dude territory. But he's got to stay consistent as Fred laps our Group 4 leader, Nils. Through the Druid's hairpin they go. You see the marbles that build up there as well, on the outsides of the corners. So easy to run wide onto them and just have no grip at all. Someone is into the pits. That is Eddie. Eddie into the pits, so that has, unfortunately, at least for now, ended the scrap between the two Audis. I think Infamous is set to go to the end here. Nevertheless, a good show that they put on while it lasted. Nicholas managing to get by. So Bottle Job, haven't checked on them in a while. Here they are, going through the forest section. 7 seconds back from Milt. So it's closed down a little bit, but it's going up again now, so it's around, I think the technical terms it's pretty much stabilised as that gap at around the 7-second mark. Also, I'm not sure when it happened, but Nicholas Carl did retake the fastest lap of the race. Off? No, not off. That was on lap 34, a 1:20.706 for Nicholas Carl. That Subaru is absolutely flying. Although not literally, because that would be probably classed as cheating, but you get the idea. Just put on the wings upside down, get up force instead of down force. That's how that works. Going to be crucial again for CJ just to bring the car home at this stage. Is just stay consistent. First place pretty much out of reach for any mistakes from Nicholas Carl. Indeed, there are big jumps in rally. That was a fair observation. Oh! Massive sideways moment for CJ. Let's see that one again on the highlight reel. Here he is, the Mad Greek, once again. Look at that. Ooh! Through sideways. Take it easy, lad. Why is he in Group B? Oh dear. Nicholas going on to lap 41 of 44. The lap count seemed to line up quite nicely for an hour's worth of racing. The Garage 56 engine. You guys in chat are fantastic. Thanks again for sticking with us on this one. Oh, someone's gone off at Clark Curve. That's Eddie. Understeer more than likely the case. He's by himself on circuit. Yep, carrying too much speed. You can hear him lift off the throttle, but he needed to apply the brakes more if he was going to make that. Some lappery going off. Nicholas coming up to the likes of Sir Bottlejob and Amuda, so Amuda's just got past the Porsche Cayman of Sir Bottlejob. And the Subaru about to make their way past. Good luck again. There's some... I think that's just more lappery, looking on the back straight at the track map. Yep, that makes sense. Now Nicholas Carl looking to overtake Amuda, looking to the inside. Amuda runs a bit wide, disappears off our camera shot. There he is again. And Nicholas Carl makes his way past. Fred Dude still around 17 seconds behind CJ. You can also see those tyre marks going out of that corner. The amount of running wide we've been seeing. Groot in 4th. Amuda in 5th. Ooh! That was very stylish on that occasion from Amuda. Really throwing the car in. Yeah, we probably should get Jack Wilkinson a wide-angle lens. That's not a bad idea. Group 4, the gap has opened up again. So Bottlejob around 9 seconds back from this guy, Nilsman. So German dominance here today seems to be the order of things at Brands Hatch in both categories. Nicholas Carl and Nilsman leading their respective categories. Oh, very close to Jack Wilkinson as he was laid down on the circuit. And Muda slipping and sliding in the background, it would seem. About to get past Nils as they go towards the forest section. Oh! Just managing to hold on to it as they go through the gravel. Probably best to wait for a straight. That way you use the extra power and top speed of the Group 3s to get past. Indeed, Amuda does that. Good work by them. As Nicholas Carl, our overall race leader in the Group 3 category as well, is on to the final lap of the race. Through the Druid's hairpin for what will be the final time of asking for him. And just like last time out at the Mountain King Challenge a week ago, extremely dominant performance by him. Pretty much no mistakes. We saw mistakes from the rest of the drivers, including the top guys from the Nukeshot Endurance Series, the likes of CJ and Fred Dude. But Nicholas working like an absolute metronome and just sticking to the task. No mistakes at all. And seeming to be on track for the win here today. Not over just yet. He might have complete engine failure for all we know as of yet. But it is looking more and more likely with every passing second. Ooh, bit more dust being kicked up. The suspense. Just clock curve to go now. And it is indeed going to be PRT Nicholas Carl taking the win in the Group 3 category of the Group 3 and 4 Showdown here for Nukeshot Endurance Series 5.5. A fantastic result for them. Fantastic consistency. They take the fastest lap as well, unless That gets taken by one of the other guys. Amuda coming across the line there to take 5th. Groot will take 4th in the end. There is Groot, there is Amuda, and Nils comes across the line to take the win in the Group 4 category. A fantastic performance by them. Good recovery drive after not the best of starts. And a 10-second gap they had over Sir Bottlejob in the end in category. Sir Bottlejob having to settle for 2nd. Crazy John comes across the line to take 2nd in Group 3. Valiant effort, fantastic defensive work in the first half of the race against Nicholas Carl. Just couldn't quite keep up the pace once the undercut played into Nicholas' hands. Infamous comes across the line, winning the Audi battle. Well done to them. Eddie will come home taking the final finishing position in Group 4. But Fred Dude will come across the line just before that. There he is. So Eddie taking 9th overall, 4th in class, and Fred Dude taking the final step on the podium in Group 3. There it is then, pole position and fastest lap for Nicholas Carl. Had to really work for it here today though, perhaps less so than he did at the Mountain King Challenge. Or perhaps more so than he did at the Mountain King Challenge. Words. I'm tired, alright? That was some proper juicy content. Replay is safe, that will be up on my profile later for anyone who wants to watch. Any incidents to be reported via DM. Hope you've all enjoyed the stream here today of the Group 3 and 4 Showdown here live at Brands Hatch. Here are your final results for today then. Nicholas Carl, 40 seconds the gap in the end over Crazy John. That is no mean feat at all. A minute and 23 back was Fred Dude. A lap down was Groot. Amuda 3 laps down. And at the top of the Group 4 category, Nils managed to defend off Sir Bottlejob. You see the gap between those two around 10 seconds or so. Infamous winning the Audi battle. Take that one. And the final step of the podium, I might add, for Infamous in 3rd place. And Eddie rounding out the finishers in 4th place. Unfortunate that Splurge seemed to have disconnected partway through the race. They would have been classified 10th. Nevertheless, thanks to them for participating and for showing up and for putting up quite a good display while they were here. Did Fred run out of fuel? I don't know actually. I think he may have just been waiting up for a photo finish or something with the Audi. But he could have run out of fuel. I didn't quite check the telemetry for that. Not that it would have mattered that much, because he was in 3rd place and I believe he'd lapped Groot by that point. Regardless, I could be wrong on that. So, that pretty much concludes the stream here today. Again, be sure to check the link that I posted in the live chat, and we'll try to remember and update it into the description as well when I edit this stream back. If you want to be involved in any of the future events coming up in Nukeshot Endurance Series 5.5, next week, if I'm not mistaken, it is the Roadster Rumble at Tsukuba Circuit. So plenty of action to look forward to in that one. Everyone in Equal Machinery. A good place to actually start if you want to make your league racing debut in a low-powered, little bit of downforce machine. We still have quite a few spaces, if I'm not mistaken, in the Roadster Rumble. That's happening, of course, on the 22nd of November. Same time, same place, here on Nukeshot Media. Checking the entry list. Yep, we are currently at 10 of 14 slots, so be sure to check that out. Once again, hope you've all enjoyed. From all of us here at Nukeshot Media, this has been Nukeshot Zokeo, and I will hope to see you next time out. Until then, goodbye.